What's up, tribe? How you guys doing today? I am go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then I hope you like this video. This is gonna be review of the Campbells episodes 2 and 3. Now, when I did the review of the first one, I said, well, I don't think I'm gonna review this every week, but I like it, and I'll kind of keep you guys up to date on what's going on. But you guys really liked the video, and it got a lot of views, so I feel like this is something y'all want me to review, so I will. So I didn't review last week's episode, so I'll just go ahead and combine the two. Sorry, that's my phone. So I'll go ahead and combine the two. So last week's episode, um, mainly we saw where Erica is worried about her and Warren becoming disconnected. She was saying that she's just feeling a disconnect. They were at the Stellas, and she asked that he make her a priority. And he missed the red carpet, but he missed the red carpet because he was dealing with one of his artists who was, I don't want to say he was like having a hissy fit or something like that, but he wasn't happy with he wasn't happy with the role he was supposed to be playing in the Stellas, and so his response was, well, I'm just not going to do it at all, because he said they told him he was going to be doing one thing, but then when he got there, they had him doing something different, and he was like, that ain't what I signed up for. So, as the exec, Warren had to go handle that, and I understood that, and it wasn't that he didn't plan to be there. It wasn't a purposeful thing done. However, Erica felt some kind of way about it. And then she immediately, well, semi-immediately, had to fly. She didn't have to. Yes, she did. She had agreed to do it. Fly out to be on Fred Hammond's, who I love. I love me some Fred Hammond's tour. And she was only doing this one show because one of the artists couldn't make that one particular show, and she was doing it sort of as a favor to Fred. I mean, I know she was getting paid, but it was sort of like he called her like, yo, E, can you hook me up? And the date was in North Carolina. Greensboro, as a matter of fact, where I lived for 6 years of my life. Whoop, whoop. Been in college. Whoop, whoop. But anyway, so they sort of had a disagreement on the phone. And y'all know, when you're on the phone with somebody, it's hard to have a conversation, a disagreement when you're on the phone. And Erica said the way things left, she just wasn't feeling right. And she said they do this thing they call a love check-in, where they kind of have a kids free night, and they really get honest and talk about them. Okay, so we'll get back to that because that's how the episode ends. So also, Warren was having surgery. Now, what I thought was weird was Warren just hit them and was like, yeah, so I'm having surgery tomorrow on my shoulder. Erica was like, what? I just feel like that's a conversation they should have had before that particular moment. They were at lunch with his mom, and he just threw it out there like it was no big deal. But anytime somebody's cutting you open, it's a big deal. Anytime you go under anesthesia, it's a big deal. And I think Erica knew that he was having problems. You know what I mean? I don't think that was the issue. She knew he was having problems with his shoulder. I just don't think that the surgery sort of hit her out of nowhere. I could be wrong, but that's the impression I got. Now, he was having lunch with his mom because his mom was talking to him about Joy. Remember, Joy is his sister. She's also an artist on My Block, which she wasn't invited to go to Vegas. And they had this big photo shoot with all of his My Block artists who were all of his gospel My Block artists. And Joy wasn't invited, and she wasn't included in the photo shoot. And she was really upset by it. And she's really upset by the fact that she feels like her her career is constantly being pushed back, that it's just not going anywhere. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I remember when they were doing the Mary show, and she was working on her album, and it was supposed to come out. I think she had a listening party or something like that. I remember that, but I don't remember a major project, and I could be wrong because I might have missed it. I do follow her on social media from Mary days, but I don't remember a major rollout for her. I could be wrong. Excuse me. So she's like, I've really been patient, and I ain't trying to play the bratty little sister, but at the same time, I'm just not happy, and maybe I should just go to another label. And Eric, oh Lord, y'all. Warren's thing was, she ain't going away because I gotta release her, and I'm not gonna do that. He was like, she ain't going away. And his mother was like, but you really need to hear her and listen to what her concerns are and what her problem is. You really need to do that and be fair about it. So Warren was like, all right, I'll talk to her after I, get done with my surgery and all that good stuff. I'll talk to her. So then he calls her to let her know that he's having this surgery and it's going to be a 12-week recovery, and so they're not going to be able to get back into the studio until then. So she was like, 12 weeks, which I would have been like, 12 weeks, that's 3 more months on top of everything else. So she's just really, really, really frustrated. So that was pretty much last week's episode, and where we left off with them having their love check-in, with Erica and Warren talking and having their love check-in. So this week we picked up with the rest of the conversation, the rest of the love check-in. Now let me say this, Erica. I love me some Erica Campbell, I do. But Erica, I wonder if Erica is a Cancer. Because Erica does what I used to do in relationships, and I'm a Cancer. She mad, but she expects him to read her mind. And her thing is, you should be able to pick up on my emotions. You should just feel that something is wrong. But then when he asks her what's wrong, you say nothing. That's not fair. It's not fair for him to expect to read your mind. And then when he asks you what's wrong, you say nothing. And then she said that she used the example of one time she said nothing. And his response was, I know there's something wrong. You'll tell me later. Okay, again. Now, and she was like, I felt so good because in that moment I was like, at least he notices something. Yes, he noticed something, and he asked you what was wrong. Now, it's indicative of you to say, I don't really think this is the right time for us to talk about it. We'll talk about it later. I'm not ready to talk about it right now. Can we talk about it later? But don't dismiss him and say nothing because he knows something's wrong with you. Well, he never would have asked. He never would have come to you. But that's what he told her. So he let her know. He said, look, nobody's a mind reader, and I need to know what's going on with you. I don't like you feeling like things are just lingering and things are just hanging there. Like, I don't like that feeling. But they had a good conversation, and then they got to flirting, and they got to check please, because, they was going to get to the second part of the date, So this week we're continuing the Joy situation, and we learned a little bit more about Joy in this episode. Joy is working on a movie. She actually just wrapped a movie with Danny Glover called Strivers Row, and she's actually starring in it. So she's doing some things outside of music. We also see her have a really deep conversation with her business partner / friend. It looks like she does real estate as well. And she was talking about a relationship she had, her last relationship, and how it was abusive. But she said verbally, she didn't say it was physical, but she said very verbally abusive, and that she went through a really deep depression when it was over. And that, because her friend was like, I know, that just wasn't, I noticed that there was a change in you. And, I didn't realize how bad it was, but I want, I'm just happy for you now. And I want you to, find happiness again, and I'm glad to have my friend back. And, Joy, she kind of expounded a little bit about how, she just went through this deep depression and how she just really feels bad that she let her friends down during that time, because the friend she was talking to, father had passed away during that time, and she said how she didn't even stay at the funeral or stay to help after the funeral. And she said, I felt really bad because she's a really good friend of mine, and I wasn't a good friend of her when she needed me to be. But her friend understood. Like, her friend was saying, like, I could tell something was wrong. I could tell something was going on. And then her friend started crying because she was like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't pick up on it. And I didn't know you were going through all of that. So it was a deep moment. But it was also, and she went on to say how she feels blessed because she got out. And she understands how women can just stay in really bad relationships and even marry these men and even have children, and then they're really trapped. And she said she just feels really blessed that she got out when she did, and that it didn't linger and it didn't turn into a bigger issue where she got married or had a child or something like that. Then we see Goo. Goo is doing great things. Her Glam Suite went really well at the Stella Awards, and she said that's what she really wants to get into, more of doing things like that, partnering up with brands and doing glam suites, at these different events rather than styling specific clients. She said she's just done with the styling, which I can understand, because even going back to the Mary Mary show, and she had other clients outside of Mary Mary, but it was one of those things where they are picky, and I get it. because I'm a really picky dresser. Like, I don't even have no damn stylist, but I have friends when you go shopping and they try to put me in stuff that I don't feel comfortable in, but they say, "Girl, you look good," and sometimes they right. Sometimes they are like really like, "Girl, you look good," but it's just not comfortable for me. So I could only imagine if I were like a celebrity and I had a stylist trying to put me in stuff that maybe it does look good, but I don't feel comfortable. And I remember a couple of years back, I was invited to the mayor's inaugural, and he has. I worked on his campaign, so I was like in the VIP area, and it was a big deal or whatever. And I felt really pressured to just bring it and have this badass outfit. And I remember I did all this shopping with my friend at the time, and came up with this great outfit that it looked good in my mind, but the night of the event, I didn't feel 100% comfortable. And I didn't realize that I was putting that energy out until she said something to me later on. And she was like, "You looked really good, but you never owned it." So I get it. And I went way off about that. But anyway, so I get that whole, and Goo, like, look, I ain't really trying to be fussing with people all damn time. But if I have a glam suite, they're coming to me and they can pick from what is there and what they feel comfortable in. And then I can help them accessorize and all that good stuff and make sure that they do really look good. Because just because you think it look good doesn't necessarily mean it does look good. But what we find out is that has now opened up an opportunity for her to have a clothing line, which I'm excited about because one thing I say about Goo's been a big girl on this show. She's lost weight, but she's always been thick. And what she was saying is that she wants to create a clothing line for big women that will have skinny women wishing they could fit it. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it because I think she could actually do it. Unlike some people who try to do it, I feel like she could actually do it because she has always dressed well. Like, I've always enjoyed her dressing, how she dresses herself. I've always enjoyed the way she dresses. So I just said that 3 times, didn't I? So I'm here for it, Goo. I'm here for it. Okay, so Erica and Campbell. Why do I keep saying Erica and Campbell instead of Erica and Warren? Erica and Warren. Warren Erica had to go to Dallas because, she does her radio show and she does it from her home most days. But she said once a month she flies to Dallas where the show is out of Dallas and just to do a check-in, meet with the producers and that kind of thing. And when she first started doing the show, because I remember when she first started doing the show on Mary, she was going to Dallas every week and it was a lot flying back and forth. I remember that being one of the things Warren was worried about her wearing herself down. So it looks like they've worked out a great compromise, which I think is wonderful. That's like Tom Joyner does it. They ain't never in the room together. Same thing with Steve Harvey's show. Steve Harvey be at his ranch half the time doing that damn show. I don't know when the last time they all been in a room together. But y'all see I'm still dealing with these daggone braids. But she flew out, so she wasn't home. Warren had the kids. Come to find out, Warren wants to make a band. Now, there was a scene of them in the car singing, and Warren acted like it's the first time he discovered his kids could sing. You knew your kids could sing because he played a song for them that supposedly he wrote for Erica. It's the song that's the opening of the show, which I told y'all I really thought was a cute song. But he's playing it for them, talking about, "So this is a song I wrote for your mother." But miraculously, they all know the words. But it's cute because, and I don't mean no disrespect, because I don't want to speak ill. But the first person I thought of when he talking about starting a band and having his kids start a band, y'all know who I thought of. I ain't even gonna say the name because I don't want to be disrespectful, but y'all know who I thought about. And so we see him working with the kids. He got them practicing because he don't want to just do a singing group. He wants a band. So the 3 kids each play a different instrument. The oldest plays the piano. The son plays bass, and the youngest one plays the guitar. And so he has them working on their instruments, and then he has them working on their vocals. That oldest girl can blow. Do you hear me? That oldest girl can blow. And the baby can blow. The baby just don't know what to do with it yet. She's got a beautiful voice. And it's powerful. She just don't know what to do with it yet. But Warren gonna get their asses together. They're gonna come out with something. They're gonna do something. They're gonna be opening for their mama next year or something. So he's working on his little band with them, right? While Erica is in Dallas messing up people's love lives. So they had a conversation on the air about community dating. Basically, dating without committing to one person, which I don't think it's a problem as long as both parties know that's what's going on. If you want to date more than one person, I don't see nothing wrong with that as long as both those other people know that they're not in a committed or a monogamous relationship, right? So that's what they were talking about. Well, come to find out, she didn't put her co-host on blast. He's just coming out of a divorce and he's kind of doing some community dating. But I don't think that the other women he was dating knew he was community dating. And she kind of threw it out there like, you community dating, right? And he was like, yeah. Like, and so she was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to put you on blast. And so she ended up having lunch with him to apologize and everything. And she told him, she was like, look, and he kind of shared some stuff about his divorce. He was like, he used a term that I thought was interesting. He said that my mother was married to 9 different people. My father was married, I think he said 4 or 5. He said, I'm a professional stepchild. And I thought about that. I said, damn, I guess he is. If your mama was married to 9 different men, and your father was married to 4 or 5 different women, I guess that's what you are as a professional stepchild. That's got to be a crazy life. Like, how you fit 9 husbands into one life? That is a lot. But anyway, no judgment, no judgment. So, but he was just saying how he never wanted to be divorced. Like, he really wanted to make it work. He didn't want to be that person. And how his wife left him. And so he said they were together for 10 years and she left him. And now he's sort of just kind of reeling and dealing with that whole situation of her leaving. And so, so in the interim, he was like, but I'm enjoying dating. You know what I mean? Like, and her thing to him was, just don't rush into nothing because you want to be back in a relationship. Like, enjoy your dating, enjoy what you're doing. Don't rush back into anything, because only thing I could think of was fools rush in. When you say that, I think of fools rush in. The other issue that they were having was, I don't know if the parent company of her radio show has a new owner or new management, but it sounds like they changed the policy or the procedure of how you book a guest. And, Erica was saying when she first started doing a radio show, if she said she wanted somebody on the show, boom, it was done. She said, but now they've put this new process in place that can take up to 2 or 3 weeks. She said, and at this point, it makes me look stupid because these are my colleagues. Like, I'm just not a DJ doing radio. Like, if I say I want Fred Hammond on my show because Fred Hammond has a new album coming out, or Fred Hammond contacts me and says he wants to be on the show because he has a new album coming out, and I say, okay, cool, and then he don't hear nothing for 3 or 4 weeks, and then in the interim, I do a show with him, I'm looking stupid. I'm out here looking dumb, and it's messing with my credibility with my colleagues. And so they had a meeting, their little check-in meeting. She brought it up. And at first it sounded like the guy was like, well, you don't need to worry about that. But then they cleaned it up. With editing. They came back from the commercial and cleaned it up. And basically what the guy was saying was, I don't want you to feel that way. You shouldn't have to worry about that. If there's an issue, he said, I'm going to work on streamlining this process. And I'm going to work on making sure that there's not. He said, that's right. He said, that's not good to have this 3-week window in between, when people request to be on the show and when they get on the show. Like, that's a problem. So they worked it out. Because at first I said, oh, are they setting up for Erica to leave her radio show, and this is how they setting it up? Because that's what I was thinking at first. I was like, oh, she about to leave a radio show, and she setting up all the problems that she's having with the company. But last but not least, Joy met with MC Lyte, and if you were a child of the 90s, 80s, 90s, and you know and love MC Lyte like I know and love MC Lyte, I could still recite Paper Thin from beginning to end. Y'all don't even know nothing about that. But she said MC Lyte is one of her mentors, and she talked to her about her frustrations with what's going on with Warren. And MC Lyte told her point blank, she was like, look, you need to go to him. She said, if you keeping it as strictly a business relationship, then you need to go to him and ask him for a timeline. You need to hold him to that timeline. And if he can't give you a timeline or he can't meet the timeline, then you need to be serious about looking into other options. And so that's where the episode ends, is Joy actually going to the studio saying, look, we need to talk. So that's where it ends. So next week we'll pick up with them actually having the talk and see how that goes. But it ain't gonna go well because Warren ain't that dude. Warren is. I like Warren. Warren is a businessman. He definitely knows music and he's definitely a talented artist and producer. But my problem with Warren is he's one of those. I don't really need to explain to you what I'm doing. Just trust me that I'm doing it. And everybody can't function that way. Like people need to see what's going on. People need to feel the work. And I don't think he understands that. But anyway, we're gonna see how it goes. Like I said, I could be wrong. He might be very open and receptive to what his sister is talking about. But I doubt it. All right, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Thank you to all my new subscribers. And I will talk to y'all later.